Hi, Sarah Banas here. Learn to craft. Quick, easy craft tutorials. I'm going to show you today how to build your own sublimation backgrounds for things like cups or for tumblers or for shirts or for anything that you want to sublimate. Today we're going to make one for a tumbler. It's probably going to be too large to actually print from Cricut Design Space, but you can use this for anything you want, whether, if you want to make cups or other things that you can print within size from Design Space. So let's go ahead and get started. Super easy. So actually, first, let me just mention, if this video is of interest to you, like the video, but also subscribe. When you subscribe, you'll get notifications when the new videos come out, probably once or twice a week. Just lots of neat ways that you can make your own designs, that you can make new and interesting things with your Cricut. So like I said, subscribe, you'll get the notifications when the new videos come out. So let me just see here. Also, one other thing real quick. I'm going to link in the video description. I'll link everything that I use here, but I'll also link our Facebook group. I'll link two Facebook groups. I'll link Cricut for Beginners, which is about maybe 550,000 members, super friendly, super knowledgeable, just a great group. But I'm also going to link Sublimation for Beginners. So Sublimation for Beginners is about 90,000 members, also super friendly, really a great group. So join both, but at least join the Sublimation for Beginners. It's a great group. You want to be there. So I'll link all of that in the description. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. This is such an easy thing to do. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to measure your substrate, whatever you're putting your sublimation print on, right? So if you're doing something like a mug or a tumbler where you need to get that diameter, the distance around it, what I do is I take a piece of string and then hold it taut around it and then measure the piece of string. That gives me the diameter. So what you need is you need your height and you need your diameter for what we're doing here. So I have already measured mine, and mine is 9.75 wide by 8 high. Now, the last one that I made ended up being a little bit short, so just for the sake of being certain, I'm going to make this 8.05 high. But so this is going to give you your basic template. Okay, this is what you're designing to, is that amount. That is the amount of space that you have to cover. So let me just go over a couple of things so I can get rid of a couple of things here. We're going to be using, so for right now, what we're going to be using is I want to make this as easy as possible. We're going to start out with Cricut Design Space. This is a program that you already know. Don't have to learn any new programs to learn these basic skills. But also we're going to use elements. So what I have done is I have gone and I have purchased each of these elements or these element groups. So this is one group. These are just basically digital paper. So there's, I think, I want to say 6, 8, something like that, different, maybe even more, different colors in the pack, and I'll link that in the description, like I said. And then these are super pretty. I just found these recently. So this is another pack, and I think there are, again, probably maybe 8, 6, 8, something like that, different types of, so the same kind of shape, but different patterns on it. And I really, really like these. I've used a couple by this designer. Really loving them. And then this is really neat too. So this is something else that you can use. See how that's a partial transparency? So with Cricut Design Space, it's a great program for what you need it for using your Cricut, but it doesn't have a transparency tool, which is more like, actual like design programs that designers use to make the files like what we're trying to do here. So you won't be making your own transparencies in Design Space. We can get into that a little bit more when we move further down the line, but there's a workaround. You can purchase sets like this that are it's a semi transparent PNG. So You can work around that. And like I said, right now I just want to keep this super simple, something that you can pick up and you can do today with nothing additional, just what you already know. So get rid of that. Now I'm actually going to get rid of this name too, just to give us a little bit more space. We don't need that right now. This, a little smaller. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do, so as long as I have this in the right proportion, and then I size it back up to the 9.75, actually, I take that back. I don't want to confuse you. So let's just make this easy. So I'm going to take these over here. Actually, I'm sorry. I am going to have to potentially confuse you. Don't let this confuse you. Super easy. So this, as long as this stays in proportion, it will. So you want to make sure this lock is locked up here. As long as it stays in proportion, and then we size it back out to the 9.75 after we're done designing, it'll be correct. But for now, I'm going to, so you move it down by the corner to keep it in proportion, not by any of the sides, so that we have more, I can see better what we're doing, okay? So let me actually just take it right down to an even number. I'll take it down to 7. And then we'll just size that back out. We'll select all and size it back out to the 975 when we're done. Okay. So, and then I'll make it the right size for your cup. So let's get working and make this background. This is super duper easy. So I just brought this blue in to show you the different colors in that pack because they're super pretty. We're not going to need that though. We're going to take this. Okay. So this is going to be the whole of your background. You want to make it the whole size of your background, or fairly close, but you don't want to stretch it out of proportion because it's a high resolution PNG. You don't want to skew what the image is. Okay, so you have 7, and you have, this is 4.54. So, and then this is, okay, so your smaller size is 5. So you want to make your width of this, so you have this selected, and make your width of that 7. Okay, so that it is the full width of your background. But now you see that's too long, right? So now you want to slice off that portion because you're not going to need that portion. So, oops. So to slice that off, you're going to make yourself unlock that and make yourself a square, a rectangle that is at the very bottom. So you see how I lined it up with the bottom of our template here? Okay, and then you're going to select, so this very edge of this is not overlapping that because you're only going to want to select the thing you're slicing and the thing you're slicing with. So select those two, okay, and then click slice, which is hidden. Down here, bottom right, slice, okay. So now that is going to get rid of the piece of that you don't need. So now you can take this and delete this, and delete this. So now this is the exact size, same size as this, 7 by 5.779, 7 by 5, 7. So just a tiny bit off. I think that's like 0.002 off, which is fine. So we'll get rid of this. So now this is your base of your background, okay? So now we have a choice. Now we can take, okay, so now, okay, you're gonna move that to your back, right click, send it back. I really like this. This isn't the one we're gonna use today, but I really like that. That's super duper pretty. So, but this is all part of the set. We don't need this one. We're not using that. We're just gonna use this one, okay? So now what you want to do is, again, make sure that your lock is locked because you don't want to stretch this out of proportion. And now you want this to be the same width as this, okay? So the width is 5.797. Only changing your width. 5.797, okay? Oh, well, that's not right. What did I do? Oh, I did wrong. That's okay. So good thing for the back button, right? Okay, so that is the height. That is not what we want. The width is 7. So the width of this is 7. So that's what we want. Okay, so now the rest of this is super duper easy. Okay, so now you're going to take that and you're going to duplicate that 4 times, or as many as you want. Okay, and then what you do is this. This is so easy. And it makes an absolutely beautiful background. And the neat thing is that once we get into like making these in external programs, because in Cricut Design Space you can't export your image that you've made. So when we move on later on down the line, I start teaching you in like Inkscape, which incidentally is a free design program for Windows and Mac. Inkscape.org is where you'll get that. And once we start learning in a program like Inkscape, then you'll be able to save as a high resolution PNG, and you even can sell these as long as you're using images that are licensed for that. So everything I'm using here comes with a commercial use license. So you can't, that doesn't give me the right to resell it as is, but this particular license, I'm going to link all these elements in the description of the video. Like I said, this particular license does give me the ability to sell a design that I have made, that I have altered the pieces of the image. There's more to the license, but that's basically what it comes down to. So that's something you can look forward to down the line, is once you get to that point, then you can go ahead and you can be able to sell these and, you know, make money off of your designs. So, okay, so going off on a tangent, let me get back to what we're doing. So now this is what you do. So you have that next piece, right? And you want to click flip and then flip it whichever way you want. So let's say we flip it horizontally and see how that gives it a different, like a different layout, because it's not exactly the same. So say we do that, and now see how that's behind. So you want to right click and send to front. Okay, so now what I'm going to do with this is I am going to flip this horizontally, and I could almost leave it like that, but I think I'm gonna, no, I think I am gonna leave it like that. I think I'm gonna leave it like that. I like it like that actually. So let me go back one. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it just like that. And then what I could do is, I mean, that's really pretty. I could leave it just like that. You know what? I think I am going to. So what I'm gonna do is this. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to move this over just a little bit so that I can see the edge of it. And then I'm going to move this one over also just a little bit so that I can see the edge of both of these, but I can grab them. I can grab this without grabbing these. Okay, so now I'm going to take another shape. I'm going to unlock that. And I'm going to make it big enough so that it covers that. And then I'm going to just, so what I'm doing is I'm lining it up with the bottom of the template that I have here, right? I'll move this over just a little bit so I can better see that template. All right. And it doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to end up realigning all of this anyways. So let me actually just move this all the way out of the way. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to just grab, all I'm grabbing, oops, I must be grabbing something else. Okay, let me move this one up out of the way. So you saw that it grabbed that all. So you can only grab the two when you're slicing. You can only grab what you're slicing and the what you're slicing it with. If you don't get, if this is grayed out down here when you go to slice, it's because you have too many selected. You have 3 selected or more. So now you see when I just select just these 2, slices lit up, click slice, and that's going to slice out that bottom piece. Okay, so we can get rid of this. Get rid of this, and we can get rid of this. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take this and So I'm going to move these out of the way first. Actually, I want this one. I take that back. I am going to move these out of the way because I want to make this bottom. I want to line this bottom one up with the bottom. So select those two and then click Align. And then you're going to align horizontally. And now I want to align it on the bottom. I want that to hit right on the bottom. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one. Now these are already, you can see that's already behind that. If you ever need to move what order the layers are in, right click, and right here is where you do that. Or you can also do it down up here in Arrange. Okay. So now I'm going to take this. I'm going to go like that. And then I'm going to select all three of these and I'm going to align center. And I don't have to do that at this point, but I just want to, it helps me to see where things are at, right? So I want to talk a little bit here real quickly before we go any further that you can see sort of at this point. Essentially all this is layering. And you can, you can get all kinds of super neat elements that you can use to do these different layering things. So I already showed you semi-transparency, these edges, digital paper. There's so much beautiful digital paper out there. Overlays. Wait till we start getting into overlays. Overlays are, you can get like damask overlays that are just absolutely beautiful, but there's so many. There's so much good, clip art and that you can build your own designs with, and that's all you're essentially doing is layering. So let me just see. I don't like that quite that high. Don't want to drop that down too low, but I want some of that wood pattern showing just it's really pretty. So what I did on the original one of these that I made that I showed in the group is then I took flowers and then I layered roses, pink roses on top of this going up the side. And it was absolutely beautiful. But I didn't want to do that in this video because I just wanted to show you the very basics of how to do this. So now with this information that you have, you can go make your own design. You can make your own sublimation background today. You can make this one. You can go and go into. I'll link everything in the description. Everything that I use here, I'll link these. This is a beautiful set. I would absolutely recommend it. And I'll link this the background set. And then when you go to buy these, go and look around at everything else that's in there. There's so much amazing different all these different things, like I said, textures and overlays and digital paper and elements and just so much that you can do and make just really awesome designs on your own. So, and you'd never know that an amateur made this or whatever. You'd look at it and say, oh, that's very professional looking. It's just beautiful, right? So now I'm going to take this and I am going to rotate that, make this a little bit bigger. Okay. And I'm going to, actually, so you can see that's behind there. And I don't want, it's peeking out. I don't want that. Isn't that a beautiful font? I'll link that in the description also. This is like my new favorite font. I get font crushes. Okay, so move to front. And then, so what I'm actually going to do at this point before I move any further is I'm going to select all of this and I'm going to attach it so that it doesn't move around on me. Oops. Move to front, side to front, and then I never know if I should put the name going up the cup or down the cup. So we're going to take and we're going to rotate up here on the top, rotate 90 degrees. And then I know I don't want it facing that way. So I'm going to flip it horizontal. Okay, so that is not what I want either. So there we go. That looks good like that. Okay, so now we have that. And then if you want to take it even one step further, you can take your name and then up here on the top, click offset. So I have the name selected, click offset. Give it a second to catch up. There's a lot of information on the screen right now. Make that smaller. Definitely don't want it that big. You just want a very, very, very small offset when you're doing this. I prefer the smaller the better, like just about right there. And then click apply. And then what I would do, I wouldn't leave that black. I would change it to white probably, or maybe even go into like a gray. I don't use straight white or straight black very often. Let me show you a neat design tip. So I would probably do like something like that. I think that looks super pretty. Let me show you something really neat. Let me take this and duplicate this. And let me show you something that I do in my designs. So that looks super high end and pretty, right? Let's get rid of this. And let's rotate that. Maybe upside down. Okay, so now let me show you something that I did here that you probably didn't even realize, and it makes a huge difference. So you look at that and you think black, right? But it's not. It's gray. It's the darkest gray they have in here. So see how that doesn't look as pretty? That super like flat black. In design, this is, I mean, I guess it's my opinion, but in design, I prefer that that just super slate gray, dark gray. So you can get rid of these. Just a little tip. And now what you need to do now, because right now your two text layers and your background layer, actually all of your background layers, because all we did is attach. So what you need to do now to make this a single flattened image that will print just the way it is select all and flatten. And now that is one layer. See over here, that's now all one layer. Let me just see real quick if we were to use those transparencies, if we were to try to put some of those on there, might be pretty. Oops. I might have too much information on the page right now. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Yeah, it's not gonna let me move to the front, but that's okay. So I just wanted to show you anyways what that might look like. Yeah, it's not gonna let me. It's okay. But you can see, so you're all ready. So like I said in the beginning, now you have to resize this back up to what was it, 9.75 or something. Make sure that your lock is locked. 9.75. And now that would be, see, like I said, with this, unfortunately, Sciencebase can't print quite that large, but you can make it for anything else. Like I said, you can make it for, a mug or anything. You just have to measure for your template for what you're doing. But that's really all there is to it. It's a super easy, it's just a fun thing to learn how to do. And like I said, as we move through this series, we'll also start looking at things like making your own these glitter patterns and stuff. You can do that in Procreate. So we'll start looking at how to actually make your own elements as well. But for now, this is easy. This is something you can go do right away. That's really about it. If you have any questions at all, you can ask them in the underneath the video here, or better yet, like I said, make sure you join the group, especially Sublimation for Beginners. I'll link that in the description. Come join us. You can approach me and ask anything you need help with. I'm happy to help you. And I'll link everything else in the description as well. Make sure you do like and subscribe. You're not going to want to miss the series coming up. There's so much cool stuff we're going to be doing. And that's about it. I hope you have a good night. Bye.